Welcome to the Empowerment Hour, a podcast dedicated to the woman ready to take charge of her life, live in her purpose, and be unapologetically authentic. I am your host, Nancy Ruffin, award-winning author, mommypreneur, and the self-proclaimed Latina Oprah who is dedicated to helping women unleash their power, discover their purpose, and live up to their fullest potential. My goal is to empower you, inspire you, and help you unlock your passions and discover your purpose so that you live the most fulfilled and impassioned life. If you're ready to make a change and start living on purpose, then you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hey guys, it's your girl, Nancy Ruffin. Thank you for joining me for another week of the Empowerment Hour podcast. I hope you all had a fabulous week. I hope you were able to crush some goals. And I hope that you were able to get some rest over the weekend. I had a really eventful weekend because I participated in a workshop yesterday for the Luxe Urban Latina brand, who was founded by one of my good friends, Yesenia Gonzalez, aka Brooklyn Jessie. And this was her very first business empowerment event. And I wanted to kind of recap a little bit of what went on yesterday, because I think that in a time where we see so many female empowerment events popping off, that this one is different in the sense that she is really like sharing all of her knowledge as a businesswoman and entrepreneur. So it was really different, and for me, as someone who does events all of the time and a person that attends different female empowerment events, this one was really unlike anything that I've attended before. She had a special speaker, Rob Lopez of I think it's RGL Consulting Group. And he really goes by the name Trademark Rob because that's his area of expertise. Like, he advises individuals and companies on trademarking, how to obtain trademarking, and the importance of protecting your intellectual property. He really did a good job at breaking down the difference between a copyright, between a trademark, what things would be protected under a copyright, and what would be protected under trademarks and not necessarily protected under a copyright. So it was a really interesting and very informative session. I know that the women in attendance left there with a ton of valuable information. And I did as well, especially as someone who has been navigating this entrepreneurial space for quite a while. And I'm a writer, so I do understand the importance of copyright, but I didn't really realize or understand how important it is also to trademark, your intellectual property. And so big shout out to Rob Lopez. Follow him on Instagram. I believe it's RGL Consulting Group. In any case, you can always go on my IG and go down my followers list, and you can find him that way because he's amazing. If you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur, I would definitely recommend that you at least look into his services and what he provides, because one of the things that he spoke in great detail about yesterday is that a lot of times as small business owners and entrepreneurs, we spend so much time in building the brand, right? And investing in the brand, making sure that we secure the domain name and the IG name and the Facebook and all of the social media handles. And what we haven't done is trademark the name, which leaves you open to anyone coming in and basically stealing everything that you've worked hard for, right? So trademarking is really critical to protecting your brand, guys. So really look into that. And other than that, what I really wanted to talk about just a little bit tonight is this sudden rise of women empowerment, and for the most part, I think it's a good look. I think it's a good move. I think that it's important that we see more women really stepping up and supporting each other, empowering one another, lending a helping hand when they can, helping to lift another woman up. I mean, these are all things that I strive to do through my own organization, the Fierce Woman, and I know other orgs that really stand by their mission. One that immediately pops up in my head is Brooklyn Night Out or Brooklyn Girls Night Out. I have to go back and check her IG, what her IG name is. But it's this young woman that's based out in Brooklyn, and she really reps her mission, and she really is about female empowerment. And like, I love what she's doing. She's someone who inspires me, but then there are others that kind of pop up out of the blue, and it kind of makes me question, like, are they really about it, right? Because you see what they post on their Instagram pages, and they talk a good game, but then their actions, they fall a little bit short, right? So they're really slacking in where it matters. Because yes, it's easy to say, I support another woman. Yes, I support you. But what really determines that is your actions. So, all right, you say you're supporting, but how are you supporting? Are you buying these women's products? Are you helping to promote their businesses? Are you attending their events? If they're sponsoring you, how are you reciprocating, that love that they're giving you? And unfortunately, there are some organizations that I see on Instagram that are doing a very poor job in walking in their mission or in the things that they say that they're doing, And so for me, it's always really very simple. I'm a person who actions speak louder than words. So for me, I don't believe what you say because I see what you do. I'm that kind of person, right? So you can talk. But for me, I'm not even paying attention to that. I'm paying attention to how you move, right? And so what are you really doing to support another woman? How are you really showing up for women in your life, in your community, in your businesses? I mean, that's really where the value lies. And I think that if, there's anyone out there that's listening to me that is contemplating, on taking that female empowerment route. Okay, maybe you want to host an event where you bring women together because you want to inspire and you want to motivate. I want you to really think about what your motivation is. And if you're only doing this because you see that it's a huge movement and you want to put something together so you can sell tickets and you can get, butts and seats, and you're not really passionate about giving something of value to the women who are coming, then women empowerment is not for you. And there's no other way to say that. Because yes, while we definitely want to earn a living and make money doing the things that we love, trying to get people to come out their pockets just so that you could earn $1 while providing them with mediocre service or a mediocre experience, it's not the move. And for people like me who are really passionate about doing this work with helping women and supporting women and empowering women, it pisses me off when I see other women undermine these types of events and these types of experiences. Because what happens is a woman might attend an event being hosted by someone who doesn't really care about them. And that experience may turn them off from all women empowerment events, and they may not want to go. And I say that because it's happened to me. I've had women attend my events who have said to me that my event has been unlike anything or any other female empowerment event that they've attended, and in a good way. That they've always left those other events feeling like there was something missing. They didn't leave there with a genuine connection or feeling inspired or motivated or anything like that. And when I hear that, one, it makes me sad, because here you have a woman who was probably looking to really connect with other women, right? And they were robbed of that experience, right? So they shelled out their hard earned money to attend an event, and they didn't get what they paid for. And so that really bothers me. One, because I understand how difficult shit is nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are really out here just trying to make a living. And so you have to respect their money, right? So if someone's shelling out money to attend one of your events, then you have to understand that by them doing that, they're sacrificing something else. I mean, we don't know what that is, but if they're spending money on coming to your event, that's money that they're not using for something else. And so for me, I'm always really mindful about that, which is why I always try to go above and beyond. And I always try to give more than what they expect to receive at my event. And the reason I do that is because I value each and every person who spends $1 on anything that I'm doing, whether it's my books, whether it's my events, whatever it is. I value that only because I know that they could be spending their money, they can be spending their time elsewhere. And so why wouldn't I be appreciative of that? Why wouldn't I try to give, my all and create the best experience for them? And so I'm talking about this because this was something that came up yesterday at the Passion Purpose Paycheck event. One of the young ladies, she said that, unfortunately, while so many women do speak of female empowerment and supporting women and all of that good stuff, that in her experience, that's not what she's happened to come across. That it's always, she's always left feeling like they're looking at her as competition, or they're not willing to share their resources or really share any information to kind of help her out or help, or that there's not women trying to help each other out. And that didn't sit well with me. And I spoke briefly about this concept of competition and why for me, it's bullshit. I don't believe in competition. And the reason why, and it's what I told the group of ladies yesterday, is that it doesn't matter how many people are doing the same thing, right? Like, we know there are many, many, many women, many organizations right now doing this work that I do, right? And there are many thousands, for example, makeup artists. There are thousands, of bakers who are out there kind of, doing these elaborate cakes and, really putting together these beautiful baked goodies. I mean, you see them all over your Instagram, right? So there's hundreds of people doing this. But you know what? Every single one is different. And that's because we are individuals and we all have our own way of doing our work. So, the way one person bakes her cake is not going to be the same way that the next person bakes her cake. Just the same way that the way I deliver my messages through this podcast or through my books or through my work is not going to be the same way that someone else delivers it. So for me, competition is non-existent because there's no one in the world that can do what I do the way that I do it. Because I'm Nancy. I'm unique. There's no one else in this world that is me. That is my talent. That is my gift. That is what makes me special. And that is what makes certain women connect with me versus someone else. And that's fine. You know why? Because we all need that person we can relate to. And not everyone is going to relate to me. Not everyone is going to connect to me. They're not going to relate to my story or to the way I deliver my message. And that's okay. It's okay. You know why? Because there's going to be another woman down the block or down my Instagram feed that they might connect with. right? And at the end of the day, that is what we want. We want women to find their tribe, whoever that is. And so, yes, that's why it's important that these different women empowerment groups exist, because we can't all cater to everyone or every woman in this world that needs that support. So yes, there has to be many of us doing this work. And so, for you guys that are out there listening, I want you to really think about it. And I want you to apply it to your own life and figure out how you can use those things that make you different, to propel yourself to the next step in your business, in your career, whatever that may be. And never kind of undermine yourself because you're different. I want you to take what makes you different and capitalize on that and expand on that, because that is what's going to make you stand out from everyone else. And this is something that I always say. People never remember the person who fits in. It's the person who stands out that people won't forget. And that's what you should strive to be. I mean, in business, in life, in anything, you want people to remember you. You want them to remember how you made them feel. You want them to remember how authentic you are, how genuine you are, how kind you are, how supportive you are, right? And you need to be able to do that in your own way. Because let me tell you, there's people that I remember, not for those reasons, but because of how shady they are and how nasty they are and how full of shit they are, right? Because it goes both ways. So just be mindful of how you represent yourself, how you interact with others, and how you connect with people, how you value those relationships, and not in a way that you're always seeking to get something for someone, but, figure out how you can give, right? How can you help someone? Because let me tell you guys something. I operate from a place of abundance. So I don't believe that there isn't enough of anything to go around in this world. I believe that there's absolutely enough. There's absolutely enough love, enough kindness, enough health, enough prosperity, enough wealth. Or I believe in enough. There's enough of all of that to go around, which is why I don't chase anything, which is why I'm not trying to hold on tightly to anything, afraid of letting things go. Because I understand that if I lose something today, if I let something go today, there's something it's gonna be replaced tomorrow. And that's how I live my life. So the work that I do, I don't do for monetary purposes. I'm not out here chasing checks. I am not motivated by money, because I understand that as long as I stay true to my mission, as long as I stay true to myself and to the things that I'm passionate about, and as long as I'm walking in my purpose, that the money will come. Because when you're doing what you love, it's inevitable. People are going to support those who are passionate about what they're doing, who believe in what they're doing, who are genuine in the messages that they're putting out into the world. That is what people connect with. So I just want you guys to start thinking with that mindset. Let go of that idea that you have to chase a check, that you got to chase the coins and you got to chase the money. Because guess what? The more you chase something, the more it eludes you, right? And as long as you're chasing it, you're always going to be chasing it. It's always going to almost be within your grasp, but then you're never really going to be able to get your hands on it. So instead, focus on those things that you love. Do the things that you love wholeheartedly from your heart. Share your gifts with the world. Help another person, whether they ask for help or not. If you see that there is a need there, extend your hand. Help to lift them up in whatever way that you can. Because I understand help comes in many different forms, right? And so help is not always in the form of money, but sometimes it's in the form of a kind word, a listening ear, just being there for someone. That alone can change someone's life completely. It can save lives. So I think that we really need to strive to just be better human beings and stop putting so much, I don't know, stop focusing so much on the material stuff and on what people can do for us, and instead operate from a point where, what can we do for others? How can we be of service? How can God use us as the vehicles to be blessings to other people? Right? And that is how I live my life. Every single morning when I wake up, that is my prayer. Right after I thank God for waking me up, right after I thank Him for my family and for my health and for all of those things, I say to Him, God, today use me in whatever way I need to be used. Use me to be a blessing to someone else. Because I believe that when we are blessed, it is our responsibility to pass those blessings on to others. Reciprocity, karma, right? This is how we continue to manifest great things in our lives, right? I know that we're accustomed to just being selfish and to thinking about ourselves, but really we are all here to be of service to one another. And if we were, this world would be such a much better place. But yeah, so that is really my take on all of these, female empowerment events, these organizations that preach to be about sisterhood and all of that good stuff. But just be careful, with some of these people that you may support, because everyone is not authentic. And you can start to decipher the real ones from the fake ones just based off how they interact with you. And social media, you'd be surprised, is very telling about people's characters, right? Just if you look at someone's, IG newsfeed, you can tell a lot by what they post. And not that what they're posting should be a true representation of who they are, because of course we always tend to post, the better parts of ourselves. But there are things that you can tell from a person's IG post, and about the things that they value. So, for example, if someone is always posting about money or talking about money, or every post you see on their IG is perfectly curated and crafted, and it just seems, too perfect to be real, that says a lot about a person. Because for me, it's like, where's the real you? Like, where's the little snippets of your life? No one's life is this perfect. And so I want to see, what you look like at the end of the day without no makeup on, right? Or I want to see you in your IG story talking about something that didn't go your way that day, right? Because we don't all have good days. There are days when we're struggling. And I'm not saying to put your whole life out there, because then there's those extremes as well. People want to be out there and tell all their business where we don't need to know all their business. But I think that being able to sense a person's humanity, can tell you a lot about who they are and about what they value. If they're always hashtagging, I don't know, hashtag Louboutin, hashtag Fendi, hashtag Chanel, all of those things, it's like there's so much more to life than brand name, right? Like, I don't care how good you look. I don't care about what shoes you're wearing on your feet or the bag on your arm. Like, what your soul looks like. What does your soul look like? What kind of person are you? What's your heart look like? And so you can see these things, on social media. You can see how they react to things that are happening within the world. Are they aware? Are they helping relief efforts? There's so many ways that you can identify what a person is really about. There's people that I follow that, aside from really on the surface things, I have no clue as to who they are. I mean, I wonder if, they have families. I wonder if they have siblings. I mean, just these day-to-day things that if we're on Instagram and we're sharing, we should be able to see little snippets of those things, right? And if they're not showing that, it's like, well, why are you so private? And how can you possibly give me advice when you're hiding so much of yourself? You have to be careful with people like that, right? Because it's usually those whose lives really are fucked up and they're out here trying to give advice. Okay, so so just be careful. Be picky with the people that you support. And also just be mindful that we're all out here just trying to make it, and be respectful, of everyone. And if someone helps you out, you don't necessarily have to pay them back, but you should pay it forward. So that pretty much sums up this event. Look, I'm still talking about event. That sums up this episode of the Empowerment Hour podcast. Thank you guys for rocking with me for another week. I hope that this particular episode kind of shed some light and some insight, and that it helped you a little bit to kind of think about yourself and how you operate in the world and how you show up for others. And if this is something that someone else needs to hear, then you need to share it with them. Post it on your Facebook timeline, share it in your IG story, tell people to sign up to the Empowerment Hour podcast, because I'm on here every week sharing my knowledge, and just trying to help us all succeed in whatever way I can. So with that, mi gente, thank you so much. I hope you have a fabulous week. Make sure you start the week off in a positive mindset, productive, and make sure you go out there and crush some goals.